Before I go into stretching and warm-ups, this is the setup. It's easy enough with these lines, these dots. You know, put it in 4 from the bottom, or 4 from the top, and then I put it in 4 from the bottom. It's a good height. It doesn't really hit my chest, but it allows me to roll it off if I need to around my waistline and hit these. That way I can get out, let all my weight's down here. I'm gonna need to bring some more over, but today is going to be kind of testing. I tweaked my back the other day. I'm thinking it's like a mild grade 1 erector strain doing those block pulls. So I should be fine with my heavy bench day, but I'm going to use my warm-ups to build up a little bit more than I normally would. But, you know, I'm always going to start with the bar anyway, so I can test how my back feels just being on and underneath it. Yeah, the fact that the bench is not a permanent thing and I have to place it there, using that bar just to do a few reps just to make sure that I'm, you know, perfectly center is essential for this workout, especially with heavier lifts. But yeah, we get into stretching. Now, I've made it a habit to start off all of my workouts recently with some foam rolling. It doesn't look pretty and not very lengthy, just enough. Yeah, you're gonna hear some grunts and some moans from getting up and down off the ground today. Back was doing really well yesterday, but of course, waking up this morning, it was on fire. So I'm thinking that my heavy deadlift day that was supposed to be set for Sunday is going to be postponed. I'll probably do like a 50% session just to test it out. Depending on how I'm feeling that day, I might just come and do some core stuff. Like I said, some quick foam rolling. From that, I go into some open books. You gotta get that real good stretch. There we go. There's a click. With the other side. That click is what I want to hear. I want to hear that adjustment now. Well, there's no load bearing down on my spine. From there, I'll just stretch my groin out a little bit. I do mostly the same warm-ups for every session, cover all my bases. There. Open my hips a little bit. Now, do I need to do these for a heavy bench session? Maybe, maybe not. But I think they're good to do on a regular basis anyways. They have definitely helped increase my depth with my squats, that's for sure. Pressing inside of my thighs. That's now just a little bit more groin stretching. You hear the knees crack. Alternate some lunges. Could probably start my workout on my watch too. See where my heart rate's at. My normal warm up gets it to about like 130. Good mornings. It's a little tight. Not too bad. Still hesitant whether or not I wanted to do banded good mornings this morning, but we'll see. I do need a band anyways. And do my upper body stretches. I'll do some shoulder cars. There's one particular workout or stretch that is essential since I've started doing it for my bench sessions. And it's because it warms up the infraserratus. But I'll get to that in a minute. Just need to go grab a band. Once I'm done with these, I'm going to put on some music too. Got class starting here in about 20 minutes. So today's video session isn't necessarily going to be the whole workout, but I'm just going to give the basics and the start of the workout. Hopefully I can get to my build up. Number one priority are the people that come here and work out besides myself. The privacy. So my filming and everything will never take priority. So if you see a video of mine and it's like, oh man, that's only half the workout, or that's only a quarter of the workout, that's because other people might be here. I'm trying to leave, everything mostly raw and uncut for this channel. If there are certain videos that have sound turned off, there might be something that I was able to video, but there are other people around having conversations. They might not want their conversations, regardless of the topic, out there for the world to hear. So it's more privacy stuff. This is the warm up I was talking about for the infraserratus. Learned this from Squat University. Been doing this before benching for the last month now, and night and day difference. Whole parts. Getting some serratus hugs. The important part about this is not snapping that band to the back of your neck. So I like to put it right behind my traps so it kind of catches, but you can roll your shoulders forward and bring your arms in like you're giving a hug. Hold it for a second, bring it back. Another thing that I want to say is, since switching to primarily powerlift type movements and accessories, just doing the major three, squat, bench, deadlift, my core has increased in thickness. It's insane. I've gone up 2 notches in my belt, and I haven't gained any weight from him, like, at all. I sit around the 218 to 220 mark, and but just like the sheer size of my core compared to before is insane. There we go. Warm up. Oh. I'm just going to continue doing things to warm up my shoulders, my rotator cuff. Oh. A little bit of my lats, a lot of delts. Get them nice and on fire. Let's get some more lat engagement here. Do some rows. Whew. Yeah, not too bad. Should probably do a little bit more leg movement, but definitely warmed up. I'll also still do a lot of these in between my sets. I'll do like the static holds, the band pull aparts, the like band overs for my shoulders. I'll do those in between like every set. That way I keep my shoulders warmed up. When you're taking 4 minutes or so in between sets, you're gonna cool down if you don't do that kind of stuff. So yeah, get started with these sets. All right, so I'm gonna start off with just the bar. I'm not really gonna take any time in between this and my 135. Yeah, that's a little tight. I go middle finger on the notch. I could probably go wider, but I'm gonna do my warm-ups with a normal grip. I'll do the bulldog grip with my heavier sets. So bring that up. Yeah, it's pretty center. Let's get some weight on there. Now, I think what kind of did some more damage the other day is I felt the pull on my last rep for my last set of block pulls. And then I continued to do more work. Obviously nothing heavy, but what I should have done is I should have stopped, started to ice, maybe went and took some ibuprofen right away, and hydrated, stretched out a little later in the day. But no, I kept going. And then I did 2-hour car ride, driving, and then, 2-hour car ride back. So that night, my back was on fire. first weighted. So let's test out this weight. All right, that doesn't feel too bad. Get set. Nice deep breath. Yeah, it's not too bad. All right, I'll take like a minute or two, and then I'll get the next one in. All right, now the music's on. Next set, 185. Like I said, today I'm going to build up a little bit more than I would. Normally, I would do like a quick 135, shoot straight up to like, yeah, I'd still probably do 185. And then maybe like 225 or something like that. But it'd be a lot quicker in between because it's still would be considered my warm ups. But yeah, all right, it still feels good. Nice deep breath. It's my normal bench setup, so I think I should still be good. All right, a couple more minutes. So the goal today was to build up to 345. Supposed to do 5 sets of 2 at 345. If I can get 3 sets of 2 at 345, I'll be good. So I think I'm gonna go from 225 to 275 to 315, and then go for 3 sets of 2 at 345. But just this will be another warm-up set technically. So this will be a set of 3. So position, mouth under the bar, bring my shoulders in, weight up, settle down. Also, for my warm-ups, I do touch and go to keep the constant tension. As opposed to on my working sets, you'll see there's a difference. It'll be some paused motions in there, more like competition. So while I get some stretching in for this first working set, you know, I don't film it most of the time. You know, normally see it. I don't post it a lot, but I don't really eat anything before I come here. Especially if I'm not working. I do work overnights most of the week. And if I'm working overnights most of the week, then I do have a meal very early in the morning. But then my workouts aren't usually until late morning because I'll go home and take a nap. But you know, on my way here, along with my pre-workout, I put 2 tablespoons of Gatorade powder. You know, give me 30 grams of pretty much pure sugar before I come here. And then my intra workout, besides creatine, has another 2 tablespoons of Gatorade powder, so more pure sugar. Yeah, and then as I'm leaving in the car right now, because it's 17 degrees outside, I know I'll be fine. I have 8 ounces of egg whites, some water, and a scoop of protein powder. So it's about 50 grams of protein. That'll be like my first actual meal. Protein powder has some maltodextrin in it, so it has some carbs. But I get plenty during this workout between my pre-workout and my intra. So, get this first working set. Fingers in place, mouth under bar. Squeeze those fingers under for the bulldog grip. Get this off. There we go. Deep breath. Yeah, being up on my toes might seem like an issue, but right now I don't want to put too much force on my lower back, so it's going to help with my leg drive slightly to the point where I don't need to arch. So take a few minutes and then bump it up to 315. Morning. Yeah, 315 time. Get that grip in. Up in the bar. And it's off. All right. Yeah, I think 345 is fine. There. Oh. All right. Index fingers. Get that grip in. Tuck that thumb under. Get this bar off. Mouth under. There we go. Deep breath. Yeah, like I said before, you know, my filming is not priority. So, you know, I got through part of my workout. You know, people did start coming in for, you know, the 6:30 class. So, you know, I did abruptly end the filming. But, you know, that's just the way it is. Filming doesn't come first. Especially, you know, when you have like a private gym that people sign up for, like specifically, you know, to not have to deal with that kind of thing. You know, it's just one of those things that, you know, it's going to happen. Which I'm perfectly okay with. You know, I do like to, you know, see my reps. You know, so sometimes I will film with people in there. I'll cut out the audio. I won't post it anywhere, but I do like to view my own reps so I have feedback. But as far as filming the post, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But that said, workout is done. Got my protein shake here. Like I said earlier, 8 ounces of egg whites, probably 3-4 ounces of water, and a scoop of protein powder, about 50 grams of protein. I've had about 60 grams of carbs throughout this workout. It was a pretty intense workout for the day. You know, I did build up to my 345 like I wanted. I did 3 sets of 2 at that, which I'm pretty happy about. They were all pretty smooth. So yeah, that's the last heavy bench set besides the heavy singles that I have in the future. So stay tuned.